Hello, my name is Dumpster, and welcome to the dump.
Don't fly that close. Oh my God! What the? What is it doing?
No,
Oh, I
I'm
can't.
recording it.
I can't do it.
They flying around. There's two lines now.
Oh, it's flying around it. It's flying around it.
There's two lines now.
It's so many of them.
My heart is beating.
Okay, hold on. Okay, let me get off it.
My heart coming out my chest right now, bro. Look, my heart coming out my chest right now.
Y'all, I got real alien activity going on. They circling that it came out of the ocean. That is not a moon and it is not a sun. It's 10 o'clock at night. I seen it come out of the ocean, y'all. There are ships. I don't know what the these are. They're flying around it. They're circling it. There's one above it. There's one on each side of it. There's one right there. There's one right there. Y'all can't see them. I don't know if y'all see them blinking. Do you see them? Okay, they're going towards that. We've seen it come out of the sea.
A nice day out at the beach.
The government knows quite a bit about eating bugs. It turns out it's very, very unhealthy. I pulled these right out of the National Library of Medicine, 2017 study funded by the government. Said that the chitin in bugs, the exoskeletons, will provoke human innate immunity to generate a deluge of inflammatory cytokines which injure organs and, in persistent situations, lead to death, multiple sclerosis, systemic lupus, and cancer. Sign me up, right? So the goal, folks, is not to save the planet. It's not to save the climate. Like the revolutionaries used to say back in the 60s, the Students for a Democratic Society, the issue is never the issue. It's not about global warming. It's not about sustainable development. It's about enslaving humanity. They want to wipe out small, medium-sized producers, centralize food control in the hands of mega corporations in bed with the mega governments. They want to move the population into the mega cities and ultimately bring about this great reset in what they call the New World Order. And I'm out of time, but I'll leave you with
Dr. Kissinger, our satellite time is running out. What wonderful opportunity to conclude our week here with such concrete proposals and ideas of how we can really create, I would say, a new world order.
Bugs aren't food sounds like a psyop.
Let me ask you a question. How do you feel about riding on a robot horse? Well, recently, the Japanese manufacturer Kawasaki recently revealed its latest concept called Corleo, which is a four-legged robot that's powered by hydrogen and equipped with artificial intelligence. And it's designed to be ridden like a horse, like the Riders of Rohan, if the Riders of Rohan were in, like, Cyberpunk. Now, they showcased this prototype at the Osaka Kansai Expo in 2025, which got a lot of attention and definitely generated a lot of buzz online. According to Kawasaki, the Corleo is designed to operate on rough and varied terrain. As you can see, the machine walks on 4 separate independent robotic legs, which allows it to move with balance and have stability across different surfaces of varying types. Now, according to Kawasaki, the Corleo is going to be powered by a hydrogen engine, which the company confirmed is going to be a 150cc hydrogen motor that generates electricity in order to drive the robot's legs. It's also been described as an off-road mobility platform that uses clean energy to reduce environmental impact while also enabling a user to maneuver around in difficult terrain. Additionally, Kawasaki said that the Corleo does not use traditional control methods. Instead, it reacts to the rider's physical body movements, adjusting its steps when the rider shifts their center of gravity, kind of like the way that a horse would react when you shift your center of gravity. It's going to have built-in rubber hoofs that help grip surfaces, and apparently it's going to be capable of jumping over obstacles. Now, just as like a caveat, the company said that this concept is not supposed to be potentially released on the market until 2050, but it is really cool, and I would like one.
Put me down for a pre-order.
DC.
November 16 of 2024, a school teacher stands outside of his class while struggling to remain calm. Only a few minutes ago, he was just inside setting up decorations for his class when he had to stop and immediately walk out after seeing something that made him jump out of his skin. Now, the school that he teaches at doesn't really have a history of paranormal occurrences, but the students there would often make up stories and rumors about the school being haunted, specifically by a student who used to go there. Whether or not the student actually existed remains a mystery, but tonight, after encountering what just happened, he no doubt believes that his class is haunted, if not the whole school. It appears that someone is sitting at a desk towards the back of the class while facing the board in front of it. Now, just for reference, this is what it usually looks like when there isn't someone occupying a seat. Nothing stands out because clearly nothing is there.
The ghost needed extra lessons.
How one man single-handedly destroyed America, and his name is John D. Rockefeller. Let me explain. So it all started when John D. Rockefeller established his first oil refinery in 1863, which we all know today as Standard Oil. His enterprise became the largest in the region within only 3 years. He incorporated the Standard Oil Company in 1870 and bought out all of the major competitors in 1872. This alone put him in control of 90% of all oil in the United States. Over the years, he accumulated a net worth of over $500 billion, making him the richest man in United States history. Now that y'all caught up on who this guy is, let's get into the dark stuff. And just remember, this is the same guy who once said, and I quote, "We will keep their lives short and their minds weak while pretending to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways so that they never see what is happening. By using soft metals, agent accelerators, sedatives in food and in water as well as in the air. They will be covered in poisons wherever they turn. Soft metals will make them lose their minds." Around the time that Rockefeller seized the US media, he also hijacked the pharmaceutical industry and took control of the education system. Once it was discovered that drugs could be produced from petroleum, America's top oil mogul, Rockefeller, after taking control of all the media, he instructed his propagandists to invert reality accordingly. So natural medicines used for thousands of years before this were now recognized as alternatives. The new petroleum-based highly addictive drugs were now recognized as the gold standard. So after buying out a German pharmaceutical company that manufactured chemicals of war for Adolf Hitler by the name of IG Farben, he then leveraged his political influence by pressing Congress to declare natural healing modalities as impractical. Rockefeller then took control of the American Medical Association, which is weird because this right here is their new symbol and it looks very similar to that. He then began to offer massive grants to all top medical schools under the mandate that only his approved curriculum be taught. Any mention of the healing powers of herbs, plants, or diet were all erased from modern-day textbooks. All doctors and professors who objected to Rockefeller's plans were all crucified by the media because he had control of the media, and then later removed from the AMA, then stripped of their license to teach and study medicine. Once word got out that his petroleum-based medicine caused cancer, in 1913 he founded the American Cancer Society to suppress that information. Notice the same logo. Coincidentally, this was the same year that they founded the Federal Reserve. Me personally, I don't believe in coincidences, but y'all let me know what y'all think down below in the comments.
I wonder who it is.
This may be the most important news of our lifetime. What you're looking at are leaked images, and it changes everything we know about the ancients and pyramids. The image above is showing what's underneath the middle pyramid of Giza, not the Great Pyramid. The team has discovered 8 wells with spiral tunnels around each one underneath the pyramid. It goes 640 meters into the bedrock of the plateau. To give you a scale of what that is, the Great Pyramid is 146 meters tall. That's 4.5 times the height into the ground. They end at 2 cubes that are 80 meters by 80 meters. We don't know what's in them. That's not all. Inside the pyramid, 5 new chambers, almost exactly like the Great Pyramid's King's Chamber, were discovered. The chambers are arranged in the same way the towers at Angkor Wat are arranged. The King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid is made out of absolutely massive blocks of rose granite from 900 kilometers away in Aswan. That chamber is a perfect 2-square rectangle in geometric terms. The team used that chamber to test the accuracy of their Doppler technology for imaging. That revealed the full internal structure of the middle pyramid and these weird tuning fork things that are going into the ground. New features at Angkor Wat and new pyramids in Guatemala were discovered using non-invasive technologies as well. Why is this one so important? This remains the current explanation for how these were built. Explaining one of these tunnels this way would be insane. They did it 8 times. This level of sophistication is not only beyond their capabilities, it more closely resembles our computer architecture, except they were doing it in 3D. Can't explain those with that anymore. This conference was held 2 days ago. More findings will be released every day, and I will cover each and every one of them. I'll post my thoughts on this in a longer form YouTube video tonight with all the papers that I have linked. But for now, let it sink in that you will tell your grandkids you lived through the discovery that changed the entire human story.
That's what you call a deep dive.
So these Ghibli or Ghibli-inspired images have just absolutely taken over my timeline. And I mean, they're fun. Whatever. No big deal. Some of these are legitimately pretty hilarious. Even Mike Tyson is getting in on it. He's in his happy place. But what makes this trend even possible at all? Because there's an obvious copyright issue with these ChatGPT, Sam Altman created images. Well, some of you may have heard the story, some of you not, but last October, an OpenAI researcher named Suchir Balaji went to the New York Times alleging that his company was breaking all sorts of copyright laws. And then 2 months later in December, he checked out. And according to the official autopsy, medical examiner says he did it on his own accord. Except there's some really weird evidence that's just lingering out there. Like the fact that said autopsy was somehow completed in just 40 minutes. I'm not a medical expert, but that seems kinda quick. Now, an independent CT scan found the possibility of a potential second bullet in his cranium. A toxicology report turned up pretty high levels of blood alcohol in his system, 0.178, and that's compared to a legal limit of 0.08, and also off the chart levels of GHB in his system, and GHB is a date rape drug that's commonly used to incapacitate people. There are also a ton of pictures taken at his apartment, which I can't show you because it's like pretty gruesome. But his entire apartment looked ransacked, and evidently he looked to be halfway through eating. This is the last known footage of Suchir before his death, captured through CCTV monitors, and as in a lot of these situations, somehow the other monitors, the ones covering the secondary entrance, were mysteriously disconnected at around the time that he self-checked out. Definitely not the first time something like this has happened. But hey, at least we get iconic movie scenes, Ghibli style. This is so much fun. Even Sam Altman agrees. It's super fun.
Scary stuff.
The United States is the most lawless and dangerous country in the world by far. You cannot believe how much misinformation we get every single day. Because I have advised more than 100 governments around the world, I have seen things with my own eyes. I've seen US CIA coups with my own eyes. Governments lie, but superpowers make super lies. And if you're running the largest war machine in the world, hey, you are gonna lie all the time. The entire Iraq war was not because they thought there were weapons of mass destruction. Weapons of mass destruction was the outcome of a focus group inside the Pentagon. How are we going to sell this war to the American people? Who made the decision 2 days ago that ATACMS can shoot deep inside Russia? Another brilliant move. We don't even know if the President of the United States is compos mentis right now. We have a deep state that takes these decisions, not a word of explanation to the American people. It's all lies. And I've seen it all through my life because I've been advisors to prime ministers and to presidents and to central bank governors and to some of the wonderful people on this panel. And I've seen a lot.
Over 70 million votes.
What is a conspiracy theory that you cannot believe people do not talk about? Because mine is the plane of jars. And this isn't just some boring old monolithic ancient civilization that was super advanced. This is actually insane that people do not know about this. This is by far one of the weirdest things the US government has ever done, and I can't figure out why. First and foremost, there's a massive field in the country of Laos that is littered with these guys, these massive stone jars. Some of them have lids, and when I say massive, I mean 9 feet tall, 20, 30 tons in weight. And the weirdest part is not that there is a local legend telling of a race of giants who won a victorious battle over the land and then created these stone jars to make celebratory drinks. It's actually something called Operation Barrel Roll, which was a covert CIA mission. While most of the country was distracted by the war in Vietnam, the US government dropped more ordnance on Laos than all of World War II combined, and one of its primary targets was this field of jars. To give you a little perspective, that's over 2 million tons, or on average a plane load full, released every 8 minutes, 24 hours a day, for almost 10 years straight. I cannot for the life of me figure out why the US government would go to such great lengths to smash a bunch of giant jars in a field to bits. So if you have literally any ideas or conspiracy theories on this topic, I would love to talk about it because no one else is talking about this, and it's kind of driving me nuts.
That's why they call jar heads.
You know, eels? What? Nobody knows how these things appeared on Earth. Because open this guy up. Huh? No, let's go down to the sexy. Whoa, nothing. They don't have sex organs. And no eggs either. Okay, well, take us to your river home, little guy. Surely they'll keep their babies in their homes, right? Aha! Nothing. Back to the lab. Scientists can give females extra sexy hormones to attract males. Go, they start eating each other. Okay, we can sequence their gene. Nothing. For fuck's sake, put some GPS trackers on these fucks. Now, most of the eels would wriggle out of their tracker, or they'd take so long to do anything their battery would die. But no, there! One eel, we trapped one eel! And holy shit, it swam from Iceland to the Bermuda Triangle. Literally every single eel from every single river in the world is born in the Sargasso Sea. But when scientists brought a research ship there, they collected 7,000 eggs off the ocean floor, and not a single one was an eel egg. Yeah, we've got no clue.
Something eels off about this.
Communications. I'm a plumber and I'm on site for a job, and we got we're snaking a drain, and we've been pulling back. We probably pulled back about 10 pounds, 15 pounds of it looks like flesh type of stuff, meat, and we don't know what it is.
The issue started several days before. He didn't want any plumbers called. He tried snaking the drain himself. He was taking efforts to fix it. By the 29th, it was getting so bad, the smell, the pipes were backing up into the people's bathtubs. People upstairs just took it upon themselves to call a plumber. The officers on the scene decided to knock on the door of Adam Strong's basement apartment. They recall him putting his head down and making a comment almost instantaneously that the jig's up. It's a body.
Do not drink the water. Thanks for watching Good by Dumb People.